Hello and welcome to Giant Mess, a super sloppy sports and entertainment podcast that's hosted by a giant mess. That's me, the real cinch, Neal Lynch. I'm a former fourth-string college quarterback and middling middle relief pitcher who earned himself a film and media studies degree, which is worth its weight in gold. Now I'm a single dad who loves to talk about Giants football, Mets baseball, movies, and television. I also like to mix in some life lessons and stories along the way. On today's episode, you're going to get some life stories yet again. I went to a college graduation party where I tried to basically reenact my college days. There was also Father's Day weekend and my daughter's last day of kindergarten. We had a full-on weekend of celebration. Got to see Inside Out 2. Went to a Trenton Thunder baseball game. We also celebrated Juneteenth by watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. We also had some quality pool time. I rewatched The Flash on mute. Does it hold up without the volume? And then I'll wrap things up by talking about the Firefly Festival at Terhune Orchards. So without further ado, do you hear that? Lightning and the thunder. Let's get it started up in here. Okay. June rolls around. I went to the Schenk Farmstead, which was a little bit hard to find, the entrance. There was a scavenger hunt there. Her friend from before, from the Renaissance Fair, met us there. Had to leave early. Don't want to disclose why. But nothing too bad. Nothing bad. Just she had to leave early. Premature exit. So we tried to finish up the scavenger hunt in time because they were closing down shop. We got there kind of on the late side. Shocker. So we go to this one. We're missing this one last thing. I think she needed like 8 stickers on her little sheet. And so we needed the 8th sticker. And we're asking around, like, where is this thing? We can't find this one station that we need to get. And so we're asking around. They're like, try behind the house. I'm like, okay. Again, would be nice to have some signage. And go around, see there's like, oh, there's story time. So we got that one. And then there's this last one. We're like, hey, do you know where this station is? And they're like, the woman who does that had to cancel. She got in an accident and her car was totaled. And it was just like, oh, okay. Like, fuck. Well, I hope she's okay. Yikes. And then, so my friend or her friend's dad was curious, like what the prize was going to be because like they couldn't finish the scavenger hunt. And so the prize is like a pencil and an eraser. So I'm like, yeah, you didn't miss much, dude. I went to my buddy's son's college graduation party. Yes, you heard that right. My buddy has a son graduating from college. So I went up there. I was invited. So I decided to drive up for the weekend. My buddy lives in Rhode Island, kind of the northeastern part of Rhode Island. I've talked about visiting him a couple other times. November of 22. What was it? November of 23? And November 21? Whoa, November 22, November 23. Yeah. So the last time I was down there was I went for my birthday. And that was when my now ex-girlfriend was sending me all kinds of just lovely messages and pictures and texts and anyway, girlfriend type shit, even though we weren't boyfriend girlfriend, whatever. So I went up there for the graduation party. Had a pretty good time. You know, I mean, it's a little awkward and weird because it's like people maybe have heard of me, but I don't know pretty much a lot of the people there. You know, I know my buddy's daughter and son. I know his parents and maybe one or, you know, like his wife's parents and maybe an aunt or an uncle, you know, which it's crazy that these people remember me. Like I haven't lived, you know, in that area in 30 years. And yet they're like, yeah, Neal, what's up? It's just like, wait, what? I don't know. I haven't seen you in 30 years. How do you remember? So, pretty good time, you know, drank my nuts off. I mean, it was just like, I think I must have had cracked open the first one at 1, maybe, and wrapped up around 11 or 12. So you figure if I did 1 per hour, now your boy does more than 1 per hour. So yeah, I but was still in fairly decent control. It wasn't anything bad. I mean, I will say towards the end of the night, we were watching the Oilers Panthers game. I'd never done a Zyn before. So I was like, let me get a Zyn. So I put in a Zyn in my lip. If you're not familiar with Zyn, it's a little lipper dip situation. Pouch. So it's not the shredded, not powder. What the fuck do they call it? Dirt. I don't know. It's in a pouch. So you put the pouch in your lip. And then my buddy was like, you want to smoke a cigar? I was like, sure. And then someone else was like, hey, you want to hit this J? And I was like, sure. So I at one point, I'm holding a cigar. I had a Zyn in my mouth and I was smoking a bone. Unbelievable. And still, I was managed to hold my own. I mean, we went to bed not long after that, but that was a great time. We got to go to, I was a wreck the next day. And also I had to sleep on this air mattress that was leaking. There were apparently 2 air mattresses, one good, one bad. I got the bad one both nights. Slept in like I don't know if you would call it a living room, family room, like a room where people can sit and just look at each other. Very old school. But yeah, I slept in there. I'm spoiled. I have my blackout curtains here at home. I did not have them there. So it's like the moment the sun peeks its little nog over the ridge, my eyes like pop open, like, oh, it's daylight, time to wake up. So did not get a ton of sleep while I was there. And in my edible riddled brain, mixed with smoke brain, mixed with Zyn, mixed with tequila seltzers, I thought I would situate the air mattress so that at least my top half of my body would be on the couch and then my bottom half of the body would be on the air mattress, not realizing the air mattress is going to fucking deflate, dude. So you're just going to be, ugh. So I ended up just sleeping on the couch, which I got used to when me and my ex-wife were separated. So I got some experience under the belt. Yeah, I pigged out that next day on Sunday. Saturday was like, I felt bad too setting up on Saturday because trying to help out as best I can. And I was like, we filled all the coolers with all the different boozes. We got a little strategic with it. We're like, well, we need to put the sodas by the liquor because those are mixers. And we should probably put the water by the sodas and then have the alcohol over here. And we'll do the hard seltzers in this cooler and we'll do the beers in this cooler and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, but how will people know what's in each cooler? So then I decided to make signs and that takes me a fucking hour. It's like, because I feel like if I just write it out, I want it to pop. Like I just got way too friggin' creative and artistic with it. It was like, Neal, all you got to do, dude, is write hard seltzer and then tape it to the thing. You don't need to make big block letters or bubble letters and color it in and have all these weird designs and, flourish, flair, if you will. Unnecessary. I could sense my buddy's wife was getting real pissed with me, just like putting a lot of effort into that, huh? And I guess it paid off. We got a couple, apparently compliments from the house. Got a lot of compliments from people like, oh, the sign is so helpful. Also got to toss around the football a little bit, which was nice. Wasn't able to play any cornhole or can jam or slam ball. They had all the games that I love. And no one wanted to play with me. I did Jenga by myself, which was entertaining. You just got to do, what you got to do sometimes. They have a pool too. And I was like, I tempted to go in the pool, but it was, it's like the 22-year-old with all his college buddies, all dudes. He said no women allowed. I guess he went through a breakup, and that's one way to help move along. So maybe I should just have a big old fashioned sausage fest, and that'll help me move on. Yeah, it was good hanging out with my buddy. Got to go to the gym the next day. Nice big, was it Planet Fitness? Fucking like $10 a month, dude. It was like $20 and you can go to any of them that you want. But it was huge, and I got to find like a nice little side room where no one was in, and no one can point and laugh. Me doing pec flies with 10-pounders. Oh no. The one thing that's kind of weird is like you have to wipe down every machine after you use it. I don't know about that. I mean, I'll do it if everyone else is doing it, but I'm not used to doing that. So a little weird. Yeah. So we had I had like pancakes for breakfast, lots of pancakes for breakfast, and then burger and hot dog, like the whole nine. So that was a good time. Nice in and out. Father's Day weekend was that following weekend. It was also my daughter's last day of kindergarten. So they got out early at like 1:00. So I made sure I was there at 1. I made sure I followed all the protocol and got there right on time. Took her to mini golf. We then had this was supposed to be one of those days, and I've talked about this before, where I'm trying to get together the three of us, me, my ex, and my daughter, because my daughter loves it. It's mommy and daddy. Look at them. They're together. I love mommy, love daddy. Now they're both in the same area. And I love it because we did it for her pre-K graduation. It wasn't a long time. Doesn't have to be a long time. It's like we showed up at the show, we hung out afterwards, and that was that. And after that, so that was last June, end of June. I was like, hey, I emailed my ex and I'm like, let's get together more often. Right now, we're all together just on her birthday and Halloween, twice a year. This was kind of rare that we got together outside that schedule. So let's try and meet up like once every other month or something to that effect. So like maybe, when Thanksgiving rolls around, let's meet up before Thanksgiving. Christmas rolls around, let's meet up before Christmas. Kind of like big, major, what is typically considered family type times. We were able to do it for Thanksgiving. Met before that. Didn't, she had to back out around Christmas time because of work or something. It was crazy. And then we tried to meet up again. I want to say over the winter. It was January, February, March. It was one of those months. Anyway, we're not talking mid-June. It's the last day of kindergarten. I thought, it'd be good. We get together. And my ex agreed. I made the reservation at Winberry's. It's this restaurant that's right at Palmer Square, Nassau Street in Princeton that I've been dying to try out. It's possible I probably ate there as a kid, but I don't remember. But I was like, I'd be interested in going there. So I made a reservation. And then the ex texted me that she had to back out because her new cat that she got is missing. Now, there's been multiple times where the cats have been missing, multiple times. I can count when she was at her old apartment in Hoboken. One of the cats went disappearing for pretty much the entire day. Dude just had to get some air. Walk it out. Let's take inventory. There was another time so I don't think it happened in Weehawken when we lived together. It definitely happened. It might not have happened in Allendale, but it happened in Wayne for sure, where it was like, this is it. I don't think both of them are gonzo. I've told that story before, but basically so sleep deprived that I think I came back from my 20th high school reunion and I left. I not only did I leave all the car doors open to our car, I left the sliding glass door open. Ooh, I tell you, baby brain, because at that point, Bria was not even a month old. No, she was a month old. So getting like zero sleep. And so I left not only all the car doors open, but the sliding glass door open. So the cats were like, we're free. And so they took off. And I remember it took pretty much all that day to find them, to get them back. But we got them back. But so the cats, any opportunity they can get to make a break for it, they're gonzo. And so this new kitten apparently went missing. And so I had to break the news to my daughter and be like, yeah, mommy's not going to make it. You know, she's an emergency. She couldn't get into details because that was Max was like, please don't tell her that the cat is missing. Because pretty smart on her part, I think. You know, that was pretty smart because it's like you tell her that and it's, you know, you can forget about dinner. Like she's going to lose her shit. So I just said, mommy couldn't tell me all the details, but she said the emergency's not that bad. She just has to take care of it. And she's sorry. So, and then I think it was later that night, my ex texted me and was like, the cat was in the wall. I was like, I'm sorry. Come again. The cat was in the wall, which is an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of the earlier seasons, I think. So, yeah, apparently there's like a hole that they never noticed before towards the top of the ceiling. And it's accessible because there's a piece of furniture, possibly. The cat climbed up on the furniture, saw the hole, went in the hole, and is stuck in the wall. So I don't know how they got the cat out. I guess you'd have to lure it with some kind of food, potentially. And then I hope this memory sticks for my daughter. There's a lot of the memories that have been sticking for her suck. They all make me look like shit, and they're all pretty bad. So I'm hoping this moment sticks with her. Because it's like we had a lovely dinner at Winbury's where she initially ordered the mac and cheese, and I knew right off the bat there's no way she's going to eat that mac and cheese. So be prepared to pay for 2 dinners for her. And sure enough, she's like, oh, it scratches my throat. I'm like, sure, mac and cheese scratching your throat. I get it. You forget when you're a kid, there's these little things. The slightest discomfort will throw you completely off and you're unable to adjust or accept. So I get it. I mean, I was the crown prince of that shit growing up, where it's like, this has the slightest tinge of floral notes. Like, what the fuck? You're 5. So I was like, yeah, I get it. And so it came with fruit. And I'm thinking, all right, fruit that she likes. This is from the kids' meal. I mean, the kids' menu. The mac and cheese from the kids' menu. So what kind of fruit do you think kids eat? Restaurant? Apples and bananas, dude. It's a song. Look into it. This, the waiter brings it out. The waiter was great, by the way, but he brings out the dish, the mac and cheese, and the fruit that came with it, cantaloupe and melon. Like honeydew melon and cantaloupe. What are you doing, dude? This isn't the continental breakfast at the Holiday Inn. You're a pretty good restaurant. This is on the kids' menu. Be better. But so yeah, we had to send that back. And she ordered the pizza with fries, which is like, that's probably what I should have gone with in the beginning. Why did I even think that she was going to like this mac and cheese? I had a big ass burger, which was good because even though I've gone, I want to say like 90% vegan, vegetarian. If we do go out for like dinner, I will, if the meat is appetizing and enticing enough, I will do it. And so this burger was like hard to pass up on. So I did it and I scarfed it. And so when we went into this place, the sun was out. The birds were singing. I pay, we leave, and it is pouring rain. I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't bring an umbrella. I didn't check the weather report. Who am I? Nostradamus, Al Roker. So I'm like, because she wants to get ice cream. And the ice cream place is walkable, but it's going to be not the most pleasant of experiences running through the rain. But then I was like, I like the rain. I don't hate the rain. I don't mind being rained on. My favorite Care Bear is Grumpy Bear. He's got a picture of a friggin' rain cloud on his belly. Okay. I love Missy Elliott, but I can stand the rain. So it was us running through the rain, dodging raindrops, trying to take cover here and there to this Thomas Sweet's ice cream shop. And I think she loved it. You know, she's not, and I hope this stays with her for the rest of time. But she wasn't like, ew, oh, I'm getting wet. Like not getting angry or pissed or annoyed. She was like laughing and smiling. So I was like, oh, this is great. I love this. And I think it's because maybe I was laughing and smiling. I don't know. So I hope that's the memory that sticks with her. Like it's a good memory. We got caught in the rain trying to go get ice cream. Like we just had dinner. Like hopefully that sticks. But because most of the memories that she is bringing back up are tough. Not great looks for me. I'm like, can you just give me some good memories once in a while? So that was cool. Running to the ice cream place and getting ice cream. And then I think we went back because we were going to see Inside Out 2 the next day. We watched Inside Out 1 that night. So I thought that was a good way to rev up the engine and get ready for Inside Out 2. So we go to the theater down the street to see Inside Out 2. Driving up, we didn't walk. We drove up, and I want to say not the whole parking lot, but the majority of the parking lot has barricades up or gates up, and there's like a wrestling ring, professional wrestling ring, and there's all these like food stands, food trucks, and whatnot. And I was like completely caught off guard. I was like, I didn't know this was happening. And so, of course, my daughter was like, "Oh, can we go?" And I'm like, "Well, we'll go in the movie, but maybe after we can try to look into it." Inside Out 2 was awesome. Was it better than the first one? I want to say it was very close to being better than the first one. I like that, the daughter is going through puberty. That's not the part I like. Jesus. So the daughter's going through puberty, but they didn't try to explain it too much, because my daughter's 5. She doesn't know what the fuck puberty is. I know they kind of hinted at it in the first one to kind of tease the second one. And so in the second one, it is her going through puberty and dealing with all those physical, hormonal, physical, psychological changes. But it wasn't. So like, I don't let her watch Turning Red, which was sort of a pandemic. Is it a pandemic type timing? Like, I don't know if it was theater. It might have been in theaters, but it was on Disney Plus. I remember we streamed on Disney Plus, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't look at the trailer. I didn't look at the synopsis. I was just like, here's an animated movie. It's new. Play it. Like, I don't know that I need to give it much thought. And I saw like, there was the red fox, red panda. And I was like, oh, it looks so cute. And it's so big. So maybe it's like a girl who turns in a red panda and is large and whatever. Not knowing that it's like an allegory for her getting her period. Like there's she's into boy bands. And so there's a lot of boy band songs with some boy band lyrics. And it's like, I'm watching it. I'm like, I think we watched the whole thing, but in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I want her to keep watching this. At the time, I think she was like 4. She had just turned 4, maybe something, or maybe it wasn't even 4, like 3 or 4. So I was like, I just don't think this is appropriate. But she constantly asked me to watch it, and I constantly say, no, it's not appropriate. And she's like, well, mommy lets me watch it. And I'm like, yeah, mommy's got her own thing going on over there. I can't keep up with her rules or lack thereof. I'm sure she has a great reason or logic or rationale for it, but that's not my wheelhouse. Periods. So, there's a part of you that kind of clenches and tightens up as a dad who's maybe not the most comfortable talking to his daughter about a lot of these things that are above his pay grade, maybe. So I was like, once they started saying puberty, I was like, oh no, are they going to are they really going to dwell on it and mention it a lot and it'll be this ongoing thing? Or is it just like a one and done? And sure enough, it was pretty much a one and done thing. It was like, boom, alarm goes off. And now all these new emotions are coming on board, like ennui, which was like this tall, skinny French girl, which I thought was funny. Embarrassment, was it shame or embarrassment? One of those two was a big dude. wearing a hoodie who would always pull like the Kenny from South Park and like tighten the strings on the hoodie, and it would, cover his face, just his nose sticking out. And then you have anxiety, which I think was voiced by Aquafina, but like, yeah, that is the physical embodiment of anxiety, if I had to say so. And there was one more, I think it was envy. I think that was it. But so there's all these new emotions introduced inside Riley's head. It was interesting that, so Riley has settled in from moving from Minnesota to San Francisco for the most part. She made some good friends, but they're now going to this hockey camp, sleepover hockey camp, and her two friends tell her that they are going to a different school, or they're going to play for a different coach, and so they're going to split up. I think that's the two friends are going, and then Riley's kind of left out, and so it's all navigating through that, going through that kind of emotional journey, I guess. I don't know. It sounds stupid, but thinking that you're losing your friends and then trying to impress some new friends and running into a girl that you've idolized and trying to impress her and trying to impress coach and just pushing yourself too far. Yeah, I liked it a lot. They had like at the concession stand, they had a core memory popcorn bucket, and I was very tempted to get it, but I was like, core memory. I don't know that that's going to be something that, like, is that really going to be a collectible item? I don't know. Souvenir. So I passed like the Grinch and the Scrooge I am. But were there people in our seat? Yes, there were people in our seat. Remember, we got this. So you pay for your seats, right? You say like, I want C5 and C6. So row C, seat 6 and 5 or whatever. So we get down there, and there's a mother and a daughter in our seats. And I said, I'm sorry, but I believe those are our seats, and I show her ticket and I show her the number, and she's like, oh, well, they're in our seats. And she points over to these people. And I'm like, well, then you need to go tell them to get out of your seats. What the fuck? Like, how is this happening still? How are people still doing this? And then I thought to myself, oh, I just did that at Disney on Ice. I sat in the wrong seats, but it wasn't intentional. And I guess most of the time it's not intentional. It shouldn't be intentional. I don't think it is intentional, even though I've always thought that. I was like, how can you not see the seat number and know that's not your seat? And then I did it at Disney on Ice in March before going to Key West to get my heart broken. So go listen to that pod to find out how someone of my stature could sit in the wrong goddamn seats for a very long time and not realize it, and then actually cause a commotion because I thought I was in the right seats. I wasn't. So she's like, oh, they're leaving. So, and as those people are leaving, they spill a giant, it was almost like 2 buckets of popcorn on the floor in front of the seats where this woman and her daughter are now going to have to sit. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm somehow responsible for that. Like now if I didn't, like, this chain of events somehow is coming back to me being the bad guy. Like, I just want to sit in the seats I paid for. So, yeah, that was a little awkward, and I hope, I don't know. So that was Inside Out too. And then we get outside, and that festival is still going on, and I don't know what it's for because there's, yet again, zero signage explaining anything. And so I was like, you want to go check it out? And I was like, we can't, there's no cloud coverage, and there's hardly any trees with shade, and we don't have our sunscreen in the car. So I'm like, do I drive back home to get sunscreen, to apply sunscreen, to come back, or should we just walk there and see what's up? So we walk. She gets in for free, which was nice. I had to pay like $8. And she's like, I want to play games. And I'm like, there are no games. So note to anyone trying to put together some family type amusement, have games. So we walk around, And it's all like food trucks with empanadas. And I'm like, why is there just empanadas? It seems like there should be an eclectic mix, a diverse mix of all kinds of foods. And no, it's mostly just empanadas. So she didn't want that, and I couldn't have that. I mean, I definitely wanted it, but and tried to like pick our spots. So like hang out in the sun for like 10 minutes and then find some shelter, find some shade. And there were some little things that she could play with, but they're like, and this is the toys. These are toys you like. And then there's a bouncy house, and the guy's like, and she's about to go in the bouncy house, and he's like, no. He points to the sign. $5 for 7 minutes, or $7 for 5 minutes. I was just like, Jesus Christ. So I'm like, sure, why not? And so, pay for her 5 or 7 minutes. She gets out of that. She's like, I'm thirsty. I was like, you want a lemonade? They have a lemonade. So I go over to the lemonade stand. I'm like, hey, do you have a small lemonade? Like, how big is your small lemonade? She's like, we only have the 24 ounces and 32 ounces. And I was just like, okay, we'll take a 24-ounce lemonade, which is entirely too much for a 5-year-old. Even for me, it's like, what? Who needs that much lemonade? And she goes, cool, it'd be $8. So I was like, $8 for goddamn squeezing lemons into water. God damn it. And of course, she drank like not even half of it, maybe a quarter, if that. And then she finds this like balloon animal stand. And of course, she wants the most expensive, extensive, or like ornate, I don't know, complicated balloon animal, which is like Elsa. Or was it a flower? It might have been a flower or something like that. It was very like, takes a lot of effort. I get it. They're more expensive. I get it. She gets it. I pay, what was it? $6, $10, something like that. Way too much for a fucking balloon of air that took like 5 seconds to make. And so she immediately starts taking it, and then she's like hitting it on the grass. She's like, do you think the grass will pop it? And like, by the time she got done saying that sentence, pop. I'm like, I'm just setting fire to fucking money right now. So then there's a face painting area, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get your face painted. She's like, yeah, sure. So I get a time-lapse video of her face painting there. It was like a unicorn, very nicely done. And that was, I want to say that was $20, which she had to wash off like later that night. But I did get a couple of photos of her, luckily, with the face paint on. And then she wanted like a henna, like not the permanent tattoo, but the tattoo that kind of stays on longer than a non-permanent tattoo, temporary tattoo, like henna. And that was like $25. And I was like, no. I know you want the tattoo. You can't have the tattoo. And then the professional wrestling started to crank up, and I was like, wait, we should probably get out of here. We gotta get out of here before you get sucked into that. And we are just roasted because we are wearing zero sunscreen and it's so goddamn hot. Was it the next day? Yes, Sunday. So that was Saturday. Sunday, we went to the Trenton Thunder baseball game. I got tickets, and I was like, let's just fucking do this. I've been to a college football game with her. And I think that's pretty much it as far as games go. But I want to take her to more games because that's what I like. And I'm hoping she likes it. So then that can be a thing. So we go to the Trenton Thunder game. Our seats were, I made the mistake of getting the seats that were like first baseline all the way towards the end, kind of halfway up the first section. So it's kind of far away from the food, and it's also not shaded. So when we get to our seats, the seats are scalding hot to the point where like I got a third degree burn on my cheeks, and my daughter just couldn't sit. Like unbearable for her, especially since her legs aren't as long, and so her shorts aren't covering, enough of the legs. So the bare skin is now getting sautéed by the fucking seat. Meanwhile, the woman next to me was wearing all black, leggings. I was just like, what? You trying to like drop some LBs? What's going on here? So she hardly said anything, and my daughter was just speaking nonstop, like asking a lot of questions, saying a lot of stuff. And so I'm like trying to like, she's into the dog that came out to retrieve the bat because they have a bat dog. But apparently that dog only does it once and is at the beginning of the game. So I didn't know that. So I'm like, oh, well, here comes the dog. And so no, instead of this roly-poly chubby kid comes waddling out to get the bat. Not waddling out. Jesus. And so we never see the dog again. She pretty much tapped out by the third inning. She's like, can we leave? I'm like, oh, we're not. It's been an hour. Maybe that. So I'm like, let's get some food. They were out of every single hot dog that I wanted. They had like a list of like 5 or 6 different hot dogs, and I ordered every single one except the regular hot dog. And then she finally said, we just have the regular hot dog. I'm like, yeah, I think process of elimination told me that. So I get the regular hot dog. And I got to say, I didn't know my hatred for packets was this harsh and severe. But yeah, packets suck, dude. Goddamn packets of mustard and ketchup and mayonnaise. I struggled so goddamn hard with these packets that I gave up on 2 of the 3. Like it just was not, other than the one that I did get open. Of course, it went all over my shorts and my shirt. But whoever made packets, why, dude? What's your deal? Are you a sadomasochist? Or you enjoy torture? What's the deal here? Because it feels like there's a better way to do this. There's a better way to open it. And I felt like the guy. Do you remember the huge? I don't know what game it was. It was at a baseball game, but this huge buff guy, and he's like muscles on muscles, and he's trying to open a water bottle, and he can't get the lid off. I felt like that guy trying to open a fucking packet of ketchup and a packet of mayonnaise. And I know you're thinking mayonnaise on a hot dog, you piece of garbage. And it's like I like what I like. And I'm sure everyone around me is disgusted, but it's like I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be good. And y'all hating. But it was gonna be mayonnaise, relish, mustard, and hot sauce. I don't even think I got ketchup. So wolf that down. Also got a huge bag of popcorn, which I almost polished off at the stadium. Yikes. Way bigger than the large bucket of popcorn you get at the movie theater. And I think my daughter got some kind of ice cream, and I don't know what else she got. Because I was trying to get her to get a burger, hot dog. Nope, I don't think she got much of anything. So I bribed her. I had to bribe her. I was like, listen, if you stay this whole game, all 9 innings, I'll get you a toy. Okay. She's like, all right. And by the end of the game, she's like laid out across the aisle, like on her delivering her last breaths. It's like she was conked out. For the majority of the game, though, there's just this kid behind us in the section above us doing the same exact announcements before every pinch. So he would give the count, the score. He would say it in the same, and he's not saying it, he's yelling it. So he's like, Trenton Thunder 1, Scranton Peacock 0, bottom of the 4th, 2 men on, 1 man out, second and third, play ball. And he said that before every pitch. Every pitch, he said that. I mean, it got as close to a riot as I've ever seen at a ballpark. Like this kid was universally hated amongst everyone, where like you'd start to, like you hear the mumbles and grumbles, like the murmuring, like, oh my God, shut up. Oh my God, can someone shut this kid up? And then someone gets a little bit louder and is like, shut up. Like, but not like yelling, shut up. It's just like a little bit louder than a whisper, like, shut up. Like, like getting the courage to eventually turn around and tell this kid to shut up. I remember when we were walking back for like a bathroom break or something, the kid is with like his parents or family. And it's like, what are you guys doing over there? Huh? Like, you're not gonna, like, glad that the kid's having fun, having a blast, all for it. But like everyone else is not having a blast because of him yelling the same thing before every pitch. So like, how do you not have the wherewithal to be like, okay, hey, that was fun for that inning. We're not doing that anymore. Okay. Because I don't think other people like it. Nope. This kid did it for fucking multiple innings. Not the entire game, just multiple innings. And I mean, people were losing it. All in all, I think it was a decent experience. I think she will want to go back again. Maybe, I don't know. It was a nice experience. It's close by. It's fairly affordable. You know, I got to have a beer and a hot dog, which is all I wanted. She got to have an ice cream and a water, I guess. I don't know. I thought she had something else, but I guess not. Maybe it was just the popcorn. Oh no, it was friggin' Doritos or Cheetos. It was probably Doritos. Yeah, she can't get enough of that shit. Where did she get that from? So the next week, her summer camp started, summer day camp started. But there's a week between Father's Day and the end of kindergarten, the last day of kindergarten, and the summer camp. And I have nothing for her. There's nothing to do while we work. Like, I think she ended up going to her grandmother's house for 2 days because my ex had something that she needed to take care of, I guess. And then I had her, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't have shit for her to do. Like, there's nothing I can do. Although Wednesday I had off for Juneteenth. I forgot about that. So we ended up watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and then Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. And Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, fantastic movie, great movie, love the movie. There is one part of the scene though, like she kind of scared of the ant. I think she was scared of the ants because the ant is massive, right? And it's got a lot of bumps and grooves and jagged edges and whatnot. So it can be scary. And I think I might have been scared of it and I was like 8 when it came out. So she was a little bit scared of the ant and the scorpion. There was just a scorpion. I guess scorpions they're in California, but I thought they were like North California. I don't know. Anyway, she got scared of that part. And then there's another part where they're going to sleep for the night. They find a Lego. And so the younger brother, Nick, and then the younger brother of the neighbor, they shack up, bunk up in the top hole of the Lego. And then the bottom Lego, the older sister sleeps there. And then the older brother, neighbor, is like, oh, I'm cool down here. So he just sleeps kind of like on the ground near the bottom hole. And they make out. There was some attraction there. There was some tension building. And you could tell that he saved her life. And so they got closer and they started bonding and they make out. And it is, whoa. I don't remember this makeout scene being that, I don't want to say graphic, but man, they were going for it. It was like open mouth, tongue. You are absolutely Frenching. Of course, there's a joke about, Frenching. Like, how did you learn to kiss? And he's like, French class or something like that. And so luckily my daughter did not investigate that or ask about it at all, which was confusing. I was like, how is she not asking about this right now? But like they were whoa, hardcore making out. I was just like, whoa, damn. I mean, you don't even see that kind of hardcore making out in adult movies. Like erotic thrillers, you don't see that kind of making out. But I was like, all right, hell yeah. And then Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, which is obviously not as well liked as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but she watched that Honey, I Blew Up the Kid more than Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's just like, okay, sure, why not? And that also has Kerry Russell, a very young Kerry Russell, like 15 years old Kerry Russell. But I remember because that came out when I was 11 or 12. I remember absolutely falling in love with her at that point. And then I completely forgot she was in it until I saw it again. And I was just like, holy shit. And then I was like, oh, you're 15 and like kind of being sexualized a little bit, because Nick, the younger brother, is now older. and he's like super into her. So that was a bit awk, but not crazy awk. We also went to the pool for, I guess, 3 hours. She's into handstands now, so she has me judging handstands, which is interesting. It's like I have to give like, I don't like to scream across, like, because I'm at the point now where I can let her just go in, no floaties. She can swim on her own. She's at the point where she can go in and swim and have fun on her own, or try to have fun with some of the other kids, even though they're not too receptive to that. And I can just lay on the Shea lounge, the lounge chair or whatever, and just kind of chill out. But she's like yelling, "Daddy, watch me." So I'm like, okay, I'm watching. But I don't want to yell like out numbers or ratings like 7.4. Like I don't want to get into that. So I do these hand gestures where it's like I'm either putting my hand up and going like, okay, your legs were right, or your legs went left. They weren't straight. Or I do like this other thing that looks like a friggin' tarmac runway. I don't even know what you call those guys. The guys with the friggin' lights that guide the plane back. Like that's what I look like. I'm like, oh, your legs were bent. They were like this. So, but she had a good time. She was spent though that day, because we came back and we were watching the Lego Batman movie on the couch, and she fell asleep before 8:00, which is unheard of. And then meanwhile, so I carry her from the couch into my bed, because this is now Saturday, I believe. Yes, Saturday. And I watched The Flash on mute because The Flash it's been on Max for a long time, but it just hit Netflix. So I was like, oh, for whatever reason, a movie or TV show can be available on anything other than Netflix, and it won't trend and it won't get a lot of views. And then you put it on Netflix and it's like top 10, and then it's one of the most watched things in the world. It's just like, okay. So, I didn't even watch on Netflix, did I? I think I watched it on Max. I just went back to Max and watched it. But I watched it on mute and I had the captions on. And I was like, damn, this movie, I kind of liked it when it came out, and I still kind of like it. And if you just changed the visual effects, a lot of the special effects, and you didn't have Ezra Miller as the Flash, I think this would have been pretty friggin' cool. And they had so many plans for Michael Keaton's Batman. And I think even for that Supergirl, Sasha Kaye or whatever. And they had like all these plans. Like he's going to be the running thread through he's going to be the multiverse guide. He's going to be the connecting theme or thread through all the multiverse or whatever. And then, Ezra Miller's shit went down, and then there was all that turnover at DC, and James Gunn came in, and they really just, oh boy, did they stick it to that whole universe in that last scene. It was just like, hey, here's spoiler. Here's George Clooney as Bruce Wayne comes up, who I guess is the worst Batman, but I wasn't too crazy about Ben Affleck as Batman anyway. So historically, if anything, he's the face of the worst Batman movie, right? So he comes up, and then Ezra Miller's tooth falls out, and it's just like, look at that. Like that's how you end a universe. You just make it look so bad, stupid. That being said, there's a lot of that movie that I really like. I mean, obviously Michael Keaton and Batman. I love Supergirl. I think the special effects with Barry and younger Barry were awesome. Those are great. It's just like the Chrono Bowl bullshit. Like the Chrono Bowl, if they just fix the Chrono Bowl, the way he runs, and a lot of those special effects tied to him running, the way he runs, and the Chrono Bowl, if you change those three things, it's a much better movie. I don't know. So to round out June, we went to the Firefly Festival at Terhune Orchards. It was supposed to start at 4:00. We got there around 5:00, and of course it started raining, because that's what happens. We met up with her friend and their dad, who we went to the Renaissance Fair with and the scavenger hunt with, and they had a good time. They had fun running around, feeding goats, playing on all the stuff there. But I'm looking around, I'm like, and I'm saying to this dad, like, so this is the festival? Like, I understand the weather's shitty and maybe a lot of people are at the shore, but like, there's no one here. Like, specifically, there are no workers here. I don't see any workers or employees anywhere. I just see people, guests. So we're there about an hour, and then this younger guy who looks like a worker comes up and he's like, hey, you guys got to leave. We're closing. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? The festival goes till 9 or whatever. Because at that point it was 6:00. And he goes, oh, no, Firefly Festival is canceled. You got to go. We posted about it 7 hours ago. You posted about it 7 hours ago? Where, dude? Like, the balls on this kid to like, oh, we posted about it. Where? Because I checked the friggin' website and there was no indication or sign that this festival was canceled. So it's like, oh, we posted on WhatsApp or TikTok, like some obscure social platform. I don't know. So people were bummed about that, but we ended up going to Wendy's for dinner, and only one kiosk out of the 4 was working. And that one kiosk was being operated by a foreign family. Quite possibly the worst potential people to be operating that kiosk, a foreign family where English is not their first language. Like, oh shit. Like, what is a Dave's double? What is Frosty? We had to actually go up to the counter and order. And of course I ordered wrong again. So it's like unbelievable. So yeah, I think I ordered wrong there, but what are you going to do about it? Anyway, so the 2 kids, my daughter and her friend had to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, oh, I'll go with them and keep a lookout. So I go over there, standing outside the women's restroom. The door opens and I see them start to head out. And so I immediately, start to walk towards where we're back to the counter to help get the food. And Bree kind of catches up to me, is by my side. And so I'm walking up with my daughter, and we turn around and her friend is in like tears. Well, not hysterical, but like that quiet kind of sobbing where there's no sound coming out and there's no tears. It's just like a quiet wail. We're like, whoa, what the fuck happened? Like, what just happened? What's going on? And so her dad's like, what's happening? And so he takes her aside, and I collect the food, bring it over to the table. And so he's like, her hand got caught in the bathroom door. So the bathroom door was closing and closed on her hand. I'm just like, ah, shit. Yeah, that's on me. I'm supposed to be there to watch them and protect them, keep them safe. And I just assumed that they would be able to exit a bathroom the right way. There would be no injury or harm done. So I felt like shit about that, but it happened on my watch, So, I'll take my 40 lashes, whatever it is, and come on my way. So I look like a complete a-hole. And then my daughter was just insane amount of potty mouth and potty talk, which is, it's just getting out of control. There was a point where like the stuff she was doing and saying, I was just like, no, stop. Like, don't do that. And like talking back to me and talking back to, the friend's dad. And yeah, it was tough. I mean, she wasn't completely out of control. And it was basically everything she was saying, the friend was laughing at. And I think that spurred it on and fueled it. But it was a tough look for me, because it was just like, it looks like I have no control or authority, or it's just bad parenting. So we parted ways to go back home. And I remember just having a talk with her and being like, you can't do that. Like, if you continue to talk like that, people won't want to hang out with you. They won't want to be with you. Not to mention it's disrespectful to me. And think about all the nice things I'm doing for you. And like, why would I continue to do those nice things if you're going to treat me that way? So I guess it's sunk in. She definitely acted like she understood that she felt bad, but it still happens. It continues to happen. All right. So that's the episode. A whole lot of movies to review. Hitman, Monkey Man, Godzilla -1, I just watched Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Yuck. Madame Web. And then Invincible Season 2. I guess I could review that. Probably going to finish up The Boys pretty soon. Going to finish up The Acolyte, House of Dragons. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can flap gums about, dude. I didn't even get all to the crazy questions that my friggin' daughter asks. Maybe I'll do that next time. As for right now, I bid you adieu. Thanks for listening. Muchas gracias para viendo, for watching, and talk to you next time. Adios, muchachos.